This is the Rich Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about money. Here's Robert Kiyosaki.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki. This is the Rich Dad Radio Show, broadcasting from a mine 625 feet underground. I think this is the world's deepest podcast in history. The most amazing thing is this morning, this is July 8th, 2022. This morning, we're in New York City on the New York Stock Exchange. We rung the bell to take this company public. And why that's amazing is every entrepreneur's dream, or not everybody, at least it was my dream, to go public, to take a private company public on the New York Stock Exchange. So that was this morning, July 8th, 2022. We climb on our jet, we fly out here. Now we're 625 feet underground, and I can't believe where I'm at. And I think I like it down here better than New York because this is where the money is. And I am almost speechless because of what I'm seeing here. This is the richest gold mine in the world, and it's in Utah. It's in America. That means there's no country risk. And the reason I know that is I took a gold mine public that was in China. I took it on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And, thank you, Chinese. As soon as we struck gold, the Chinese took it. So I'm not that fond of Chinese food. But anyway, this is a milestone day in my life. This is the richest gold mine in the world. I don't know how much gold is in this little rock, but it's about $100,000 per ton of this rock. It is so rich. It's the richest in the world. Again, this is July 8th, 2022. This morning we're at the New York Stock Exchange, and now we're in Utah, and there's no country risk. That is a big thing because when the Chinese took my gold mine in China, I kind of got burned out with gold mining. So anyway, I'm here with Marin and Sean, and I thank you. I'm just almost speechless. I cannot believe how much.
Robert, when we told you the grades, and I said you have to come here and see it for yourself, you said, okay, let's do it. So here we are, and we're literally walking around with an XRF gun using modern technology.
I think you got to get this closer to you, Mom.
And using the modern technology, and you can see that this is a new discovery. It's it's already permitted and built, and it's the highest grade operating gold mine, not in America, but the world.
In the world. Right? But this is the most important thing. It was sitting here for over 100-something years. Yep. I mean, you guys came across it. And one of my things is there's gold right in front of everybody, but you guys came across it, and it's been operating for 140 years. Yep. So if from the mining perspective, what does that mean, Marin?
Well, it's about to get to where we are today with this company Osisko, with Sean and the whole team here at the mine site, would take about $500 million and 25 years if you had the $500 million today to fast track it with the permitting, the underground development. There's $200 million of underground development. There's about $100 million of drilling. You got $100 million of above ground. You see all the buildings and everything. Right. And now it's kind of like everyone's looking for the Grand Slam. But as Sean said, the best way to get a Grand Slam is when the bases are already loaded. And that's what this is.
Yeah, this is an old mine that was here.
But it's a new discovery.
But it's a new discovery.
Correct.
Using new technology.
That's right.
That's the key to this. You've got to keep looking. Exploration and R&D go hand in hand. Mankind has always advanced through science, through exploration, through research and investment. And, we made an investment here of about $185 million to make this acquisition. We feel like we're already on third base, to stick to the baseball analogy. And we got our best batter in the box, which is grade. This rock is $150,000 a ton. And 1 ton of rock is about a third of a cubic yard. This doesn't take much rock to actually pay the bills on this operation. We're about 120 people working here today.
I understand, but a lot of people don't know what that means. So from a mining perspective, this is the richest in the world. It's in America. But what would most miners consider good?
So the average grade right now of all mines in the world is about, if you take all open pit underground, it's about 1.5 grams. There's 32 grams in an ounce. The average operating underground mine is about 1/10 of an ounce. that rock that I climbed up on the ladder and took it, that's over 100 ounces per ton.
From a tenth of an ounce would be considered good, but this is 100 ounces per ton.
And it's 8 feet wide, over 700 feet long, and the average is 100 ounces per ton.
And you can see it. I mean, it's so rich.
You just walk around with the gun.
You got this gun here, but you can see it with your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, and the gun doesn't bias because Marin's not part of the management team here. He's been going around and picking up these samples randomly. So, this is an interesting mine because you can just walk up to the wall rock and see, something you have a very hard time seeing in any other mine. I started doing this business in 1981. This is the most impressive high-grade zone that I've seen in 40 years as a CEO and as a mining engineer. This doesn't happen. It's, if this was a lottery, this would be the winning ticket in terms of grade. We don't know how big it is yet because this new discovery, we're just beginning to understand it. And our geologists and our scientists are doing a huge amount of compilation work on all the historic data that we inherited from this project, as well as the new science and new ideas and new technologies.
I think that's the most important thing. You had 140 years of data.
Correct.
That you digitized.
That's right. Modernize it.
And you modernized it. It was always sitting there.
And you take that data, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of work, and you do 4D. And people go, what the hell's 4D? Length times width times height, and then the fourth dimension is with time. And you're able to model it in 4D to truly understand what do we have here.
So this is new technology, new ways of looking at it. You hit the richest gold mine in the world, but it's 140 years old. And the reason that is impressive.
As a technical person, I'd say one of the richest gold mines in the world because there could still be another one out there.
Okay, one
that's undiscovered.
We'll take second place if necessary.
But it's by far multiples of any other operating mine.
And it's in the United States because what that means is no country risk. Please hear me. That means so much to me because I've traveled the world looking for gold. I've been through Mongolia, South America, China, and each country has its risk. But they say gold is found in the most dangerous parts of the world. And this is Utah, America. It's a pretty safe place to be finding gold. It's 140 years old. You have all this data, and what you guys is you took digitized technology to get all this data that was already here that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to accumulate. And then you use new technology and you find this.
See, I guess if you're going to put it in real estate terms, right? You got all this hidden value. You got these deposits like the Bergen that we took half an hour from the airport to the mine, first of all, on a paved road. All the infrastructure's there, American infrastructure. You got power. We're going to be a green mine. Secondly, you look at this is a district. This isn't just one mine. This isn't one development. This is like owning all of Vegas. You own the Strip, all the casinos. And when you have one of the highest grade silver, lead, zinc mines that we are not even talking about and valuing, that's there and it's been produced. But then you got the gold mine. There was 21 mines in this district. And now this new discovery, and the question is how big is this? Because you got the grade. But then the holy grail underneath, we're 40 miles away from one of the biggest operating copper mines in the world, owned by Rio Tinto, the second largest mining company in the world, called Bingham Canyon. It's one of the biggest pits in the world, 40 miles. When we landed, you could see it from the airport. The interesting thing here is this was historically always mined for flux for that mine, which at the time was owned by the Guggenheim.
Now, I understand that my audience probably, flux, what does that mean?
It's basically a very pure quartz to be able to extract the copper from the mine, from the smelter.
So this really wasn't for gold,
No.
but you guys found gold.
That's right.
They missed it. The old timers missed it by 8 feet.
Oh, God.
The T2 structure by 8 feet because they got paid for the white rock, not the green, dark, rusty stuff that is.
This stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I realize looks like a mining show, but the message is there's millions of dollars right in front of you if you can see it. You guys just took an old mine and you saw things other people didn't see. I wrote this book here. I mean, this is capitalism as a finest.
Absolutely.
And and struck gold with a book. Kenny McElroy, my real estate partner, is here, and we do the same thing in real estate. The message of this Rich Dad radio show is this: there's $1 million gold mine right in front of you if you just look for it. And every time I talk to you guys, I go, holy mackerel, how much am I not seeing? And all you guys listening here, how much are you not seeing right in front of you?
Totally. And you can talk about, for example, the big porphyry, the big copper, one of the world's largest copper deposits.
So what we see here, we came in, we looked at this deposit back in 2010, and then, it was a complicated story. It wasn't the right time. Then 2020, lo and behold, a discovery happens. And now we're sitting in the middle of what looks like it could be one of the most important discoveries in the gold business in recent times. We still got early days and we haven't done the work, but we're on the top of a big kitchen system that produces a lot of metals and a lot of fluids, and that wealth creation that comes from the center of the earth through the metals. It's much like a cake being baked. You add the soda, the flour, and the sugar, and the baking soda, and you need all that stuff to come together in one place. And that has happened here. And we're 40 miles south of one of the most important copper mines in the world. And we think that there's a good shot that there's a big copper porphyry system, which would be a big winner for us underneath this. And this gold deposit is actually just a byproduct of that bigger porphyry system underneath us that's bubbled up through the rock. And we're seeing the high grade distillate from that big system, but the big prize is probably still below us if everything holds together on the geological model. So it's not just winning the one lottery, but we're going to go for another one.
And everyone talks about a world-class project, and I bring everything back down to it's about world-class cash flow. And when you've got some of the highest grade gold in the world,
My favorite word, cash flow.
Exactly. That's how you do it.
So the point here is I've been running through gold mines for a long time, since 1972. I first started looking for gold in Vietnam. I was flying for the Marine Corps. And I've looked at many good mines and bad mines all over the world. And I failed and failed and failed, but finally I took one public in China, off of the Canadian Toronto Stock Exchange. But because I failed so many times, when Marin called me, because of all those failures, it's like we were talking the same language. And this is the message of this Rich Dad radio show. Don't be afraid of failing. Just keep going. Each time you learn more and more and more. So at the moment Marin started telling me what he was seeing here, I've been to gold mines with nothing. And now we walk in this mine and it's hanging from the ceiling. Correct. But if I hadn't failed since 1972, I would have no idea what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Absolutely. And I think, when we look at life, persistence is one of the characters. And I look at all the young generation right now. What are they going to do? How are they going to generate wealth for their generation? These are the kind of projects that create primary wealth, not secondary wealth like a restaurant or somebody that's providing services. You have a real industry that can support a real community for generations, can send kids to school, provide better lives for many people around us, pay taxes to our government, and really allow us to produce metals that can even, build Teslas and iPhones with the copper and the byproducts that come from here.
Well, here's the greatest thing. I'm going to say this is probably the first time this is ever going to be stated public. A lot of people don't know this, that Rio Tinto has invested at their smelter for tellurite. Now, what the hell is tellurite?
Who's Rio Tinto?
Rio Tinto is the world's second largest mining company. Their scientists believe that tellurite may potentially hold the holy grail for batteries. On top of all this gold, on top of all this copper, this is most likely the world's largest telluride deposit. You don't think Rio Tinto knows what's in their backyard? The only problem is we own 100% of it.
So look, ladies and gentlemen, this is more than just about gold mining. It's about taking old technology, making it new and all this, but looking for a gold mine in your own life. There are so many more opportunities today than ever before. So when we come back, we'll be going into the beauty of capitalism. And the reason I say that is I'm sick and tired of these Marxists and socialists making fun of capitalists. So when we come back, we're talking about tellurite, but we can talk about how this morning, July 8th, 2022, we took a company public in New York, now we're in Utah, and how much wealth we're going to generate for the world. That's capitalism. We'll be right back.
The Rich Dad Company's mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity. And one of the ways we do this is through the Rich Dad radio show. The first investing tip we tell our listeners is to make sure their portfolio is diversified. One way to do this is by investing in companies that are themselves diverse. Companies that operate around the globe, companies that are innovative, or companies that provide differentiators in the respective category. Even better, invest in companies that meet all three areas, like Akamai. Akamai makes life better for billions of people, billion times a day through their cybersecurity, cloud, and edge solutions. They have everything that investors look for in a company that has long-term stock value. Strong financials, a global platform, diversified across products, and a leader in the security space. To learn more about Akamai, visit their website, akamai.com/richdad. That's AKAMAI.com/richdad. And make sure to explore all the ways you can keep your portfolio diverse.
Feeling powerless over current events and your financial future? Financial freedom is your freedom. Robert Kiyosaki is the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Over 40 million people have taken Robert's advice. Now it's your turn. Attend Robert's free virtual wealth building event. Claim your free access now at richdadfree.com. Don't wait, access is limited. Go to richdadfree.com. That's richdadfree.com.
Welcome back, Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show, and this here is a piece of raw gold. And I'll say it again, this morning we're in New York City, New York Stock Exchange. This is July 8th, 2022. We rang the bell on New York Stock Exchange, the heart, the capital of capitalism in the world. And then we fly with our private jet. We come here. We're now deep down 625 feet in a 140-year-old gold mine that new technology is bringing back to life. But this is my point. I am sick and tired of these socialists and Marxists getting on capitalism. They're a bunch of crybabies. So what did we do today? When we rang that bell on that on the stock exchange, how much wealth did we share? What do you think?
Well, the New York Stock Exchange is an exchange that's open to everybody. Everybody can go on the exchange and buy stock and be a partner in this wealth creation process that we're involved in here. I've personally been involved in about $10 billion worth of creation of public companies, all of them through mining. Mines create wealth that people can share, and you can buy the stock, you can sell the stock, you can buy the metal. And then in terms of what it does for the communities, it creates jobs. The people that work at this mine will go to the town, they'll eat in the restaurants, they'll buy from Amazon, they'll buy from everybody else. The government will get taxes, we'll sell trucks, we'll buy Teslas. But at the end of the day, this is something that man can't create. This is coming from the earth. And all the metals that come from here are going to go off to be part of something else.
Right.
And that's primary to human development is metals, and everything to do with the history and the evolution of mankind from the Bronze Age through the Iron Age to where we sit today. The technology all comes from rock like this. The food you eat and the metal you get all comes from here.
So I'm tired of these crybaby socialist Marxists, saying, all you guys think about is money. No, that's not what we do. No. We create wealth throughout the world. this morning we created a lot of wealth for retirement plans, 401ks, government pensions. We share the wealth. And then as you're talking about with Telluride, is that what's
Telluride.
What is that going to do?
It's a very small globally, but it looks like it's going to be the metal of the future for battery storage, right? If you want it, the Teslas want to go further, it's about conductivity. And it looks like Telluride is going to be something that Rio Tinto, the second largest company in the world, believes is going to be a big opportunity.
Correct.
But, taking a step back, Sean and I have traveled around the world for mining, because the old saying is, God may have created the gold, but the devil took it and spread it around, okay? And it's not exactly in the best places in the world. I put body armor on to go to certain projects, had the French Foreign Legion, bulletproof vehicles. You've had many people in your camps when you worked in Africa. And after you realize when you do the world, it sells newsletters and a cool, catchy story going to some exotic place. But guess what? All of the big mines and productions, they're here. America is where the value creation, where are the wealthiest and smartest around the world sending their children to school? America. The rise of America is upon us, but there's this theme that, the empire's collapsing and China's on the rise. Well, there's no doubt China's on the rise. But look at all of the technology. Look at Silicon Valley, the innovations, the incredible companies, Google and what they're doing, and Apple. And this is just a start. You look at what for everybody out there, my parents were immigrants. Where do they go? To the land of opportunity, freedom, democracy. It's the land of the dreams, the American dream. It's not called the Chinese dream. It's not called the England or the British dream. It's the American dream for a reason. It's called the gold mine for a reason. So everyone out there, go and find a mentor. I did it. I was lucky early on in my career. I had the ambition. I had the ability to sacrifice when everyone else was going out partying. I lived on an airplane. And when Sean and I teamed up, Sean built Canada's largest producing gold mine. It's the 9th largest producing gold mine in the world. So we teamed up. I do my thing. He does his thing. Pick the best and learn from them.
Okay, I want to say one more thing, though. I'm really honored about these Marxists and Greenies and all this. The first deal you and I did was carbon credits,
Correct.
right? And why? And so what these guys do, not only do we do capitalist things, we also do environmentally sound things. So what are carbon credits? What did you do there?
So carbon credits. So I have a very simple belief. In every project, you got to make sure you leave the environment in a better condition, leave the local community, the people with richer, both with opportunity and education, bringing 4G with the carbon rangers and all these things. And
what's a carbon ranger? You got to explain
so
that.
this is great. So carbon credits are going to be the greatest commodity in the world, okay? And it's not just me saying it. It's all the biggest commodity traders are all investing billions of dollars into this. And what carbon is about is how can you sequester or remove a ton of CO2 equivalent out of the atmosphere.
Right, but that's what the Greenies are complaining about.
Correct. But
Is
it's
that
going
our
to be
cars are
capitalism that
polluting.
solves it.
And what these two guys do, they always balance our operations
Absolutely.
with environmental projects, right?
Correct.
We are achieve a net positive. Some people look for net zero. I always look for net positive. We build a project, we create a mine. When we do the process and when we leave it, it has to be better than we found it, and our contribution to society and the environment has to be bigger than the input that we had on it. That's the basic criteria for us as a group to invest in, and we stick to that mantra everywhere we go.
Yeah. So as an investor, they have carbon credits, and then you built a salmon farm. Why did you build a salmon farm?
Well, we need a salmon river to build a salmon farm. We have one in British Columbia at our Caribou Gold Mine. So it's a salmon hatchery where we're going to contribute to creating more salmon into the Fraser River system with our First Nations partners. We also have a caribou initiative where we're looking to work with First Nations to protect cows and calves in the early years because of the increased predators in the environment with the lack of trapping and hunting. And we also work a lot on our greening of the world to make sure that we plant more trees than we cut, that we take more CO2 out of the environment with our carbon credit programs and our environmental programs than what we take to mine. So that's our goal. And, you know, it's quite a sustainable operation here. Because we're high grade, we mine very small tonnages. We have a very low footprint on surface. We're in a brownfield area because this has been mining here for 140 years. So the same use of the land for 140 years, just like a farm, just like, you know, anything in a city, you know, this footprint is far smaller than a big shopping mall would be, and will create a bunch of jobs that pay between the $75,000 to $120,000 a year mark. So we're not only creating jobs, we're creating high quality jobs, long life jobs where people can raise a family and they can contribute to their community. And we can be, you know, a go-to community, a place where people want to bring their families and their children and they want to be part of. We're 45 minutes from Provo on paved roads, great medical facilities. Bingham University is here. So this is a perfect environment for we as a group, what we see as value add, where we're bringing a primary industry.
So you talked about carbon rangers, right? So if
What
you
is a
don't,
carbon ranger? You haven't
so a
explained
carbon
it yet.
ranger, and it's something that, you know, and
What is a carbon ranger?
a carbon ranger is someone that works within the field to, you know, where the
Wait,
other
these are
jobs,
young
who
people who go with the latest technology.
exactly.
They go into the trees and they make sure the trees are healthy and all this.
For example, illegal logging. They call it illegal harvesting. Well, it's the carbon rangers with today's technology. The LiDAR, you can catch a person. You can figure out the label of the chainsaw. The technology, the palm in your hand. You look at this gun. I know you got a beautiful gun collection. This is the kind of gun I like to hang around with. I shoot the rock and it tells me exactly what the value is. Exactly. That's how we knew it's 100 ounces roughly, a little over 100 ounces. So you look at this technology that is available. You know, you may not be passionate about being a geologist or a metallurgist or an underground miner, but maybe you're passionate about still working in the environment. And there's opportunity here to be a net zero, a green gold mine, and that's a carbon ranger.
Okay, so also, but a carbon ranger could be a young person who likes being in the trees.
Correct.
You equip them with the
The latest technology.
to monitor the health of the trees and
Correct.
all this. You catch crooks. You also have blue carbon. What is blue carbon?
So blue carbon are the certified credits for technically like mangrove forests. So, you take a mangrove forest, about 70% of it's underwater. And why blue credits are so valuable, a tree sequesters, say, 100 years or 200 years, and then that tree could burn down or it dies, and that the carbon gets re-released into the atmosphere. So you have a cycle. But why blue carbon is so amazing, remember, you have water, and then it goes below its peat, and that can stay in the soil for over 1,000 years. So it's a much better way of sequestering the carbon. Then
What
you
does
also
sequester mean?
sequester, take it out of the atmosphere.
So we decarbonize the air,
filter.
which all the greenies are upset about.
Yeah.
Oh, you should drive an electric car so you don't pollute the air. So by doing carbon rangers and carbon credits,
Correct.
we're being socially responsible capitalists.
Totally. We're leading the way for a better future.
Right. And that's the whole point here of this show. You have a gold mine sitting right in front of you, just like these guys found it here. I wrote this book not for the money, but because I want to support my fellow human beings. And I make a lot of money, but a lot of people get wealthier from it. So the point here is this: we're in a gold mine, but there's a gold mine right in front of you. That's the beauty of capitalism.
Robert, today when we went to go ring the bell, you and I were walking, and literally Robert was getting hounded, not just by older finance guys who were greedy. Granted, at the stock market, he was swarmed by people north of 50 years old. But how many young people came up to you?
It was shocking.
It was incredible.
How many young people said, my father gave me your book and all that. And that's what we do it for.
Yep.
Now, I was mesmerized.
Pay it forward.
The young fellow at the hotel knew Robert Kiyosaki, came up and said, here's my investment letter. I'm telling everybody and all my people, 22 years old, that we have to invest in the NYSE, not the Nike. We need to build a portfolio for ourselves. And that, knowledge base that you've transferred through Rich Dad, Poor Dad is fundamental to everything. And getting that energy to get up out of bed a little bit earlier and work a little bit harder, that comes from being able to win the game. And, you got to work hard to win. And that's the capitalist way, is that, if you work hard, you can actually be rewarded.
What
but
that young guy
that
said
reward is what you give back, right?
Yeah, he says, don't buy Nike shoes, buy Nike shares. I went, yeah, that's capitalism.
That's it.
I went, and that's the joy of this work here. Totally. And the thing is, I won't mention the school and all this, but you were telling me about some of the academics you run into, and they're angry.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why they're so angry, but that was kind of my poor dad. They have their PhD and all this, and they think everybody should bow and kowtow to them. But what good do they do?
Well, look, you can pontificate, which a lot of the academics do, but they're scared.
Yes.
And when you're scared, leads to fear and anger and darkness. Or you can go out there and try to make the world a better place.
Yes.
We just started this. We took possession. The company's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Jobs creation. And then you pay it forward. You get the university students to come in and do internships in the summer program. You get the environmental programs going above ground. You can now, if you're a young person, you're going, what do I want to do with my life? Don't focus, I understand the lure of going to the Far East and Africa and all these places. I've been there and done it. If you're looking for a fortune, you want an idea, it's right here in America. There's no better place to be an entrepreneur than, the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, this is where you and I said it's everywhere. But, if somebody's living in Romania right now, there's still opportunity.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and it's a matter of tuning your brain in to look for it.
Definitely.
And that's why the theme of this show, there's a gold mine right in front of you if you could just see it. Like I was talking to this one woman, she lost her job, and she was all upset. And I said, well, what about starting your own company? No, I just want my paycheck, and I want my time off, I want my benefits, and I want a retirement plan. She can't see anything but job security. And she cannot see opportunity then because she's blinded. You see, that's the whole theme of the show. There's a gold mine right in front of you. I didn't do this to make gold. I did it to help my fellow human being.
And you have, sir.
Yes, and that's what we do it for. That's capitalism. And I'm sick and tired of these Marxist, socialist, communists accusing capitalists of being greedy pigs.
If you were an athlete and you wanted to win the Super Bowl, you have to join the NFL and you have to play in the winning game and you have to be on a winning team that gets to the finals. You're not going to win it sitting in the stands complaining about the quarterback. So get on the field, play the game, learn your craft, and if you get the passion I always say that I've never worked a day in my life because I do what I love. I've been
Well-
doing this my whole life since I was 17 years old, and I have no vision of ever doing anything else, but I don't consider it work so much as I consider it the pursuit of excellence for what I was hopefully put here to do. And that benefits everybody if I do it well, and my friends come with me, and we put together a team of people, and we're playing for the Super Bowl, and to win that game and to provide that well.
We're sitting in the Super Bowl right now.
Right.
Look at
Robert,
this thing.
And once you've
I've
created
been to
that
the
well,
Super Bowl. This is way better than
I
the
think
Super
so
Bowl.
too, because
Okay.
it's going to pay me to pay them.
You're going to make way more money than the Super Bowl
I know,
champs.
but anyway, I'm just so honored to be with you guys here. Listen up. There's a gold mine right in front of you. Open your mind, get training
And educate yourself.
I looked for my first gold mine in 1972 in Vietnam. Nixon had taken the dollar off the gold standard. I said, what does that mean? I didn't know because we don't have financial education in schools. So I said, I think I'll look for gold.
Hey, it took you 50 years to get to the highest grade
I
operating
know.
one in the world. Only 50 years.
50 years. But how many failures did I have? We were talking about how many gold mines have I gone down?
Yep.
I went all the way across Mongolia looking at gold mines, all the Andes, all the way to Argentina looking at all this stuff. And here it is right in America. I can't believe it. But you took old technology and made it new.
and the forefathers of this country set in place a system where this could happen.
Yes.
Because of that capitalist environment
market
where
capitalism.
you could get up and work as you wanted and pursue wealth and happiness. That's why we're sitting here today is because a couple hundred years ago somebody had the vision to put in place a system that was equal to everybody. That whoever wanted to work hard could win, and mining is the perfect example of that throughout the last 200 years in North America.
I'll let go back 140 years and find the guy that was out here with a donkey or something with a little pick, jinking along this area. And he goes, oh my God.
In 1860, there was thousands of people here, 8 railroads, and about 25,000 people working here.
And he was right here all the time. That's right.
And they were all here to make a better life for them
themselves.
and their family and their community.
So let me ask this question. These are quality jobs.
Yes.
How long will this gold mine be in operation?
Well, we'll continue to discover things. This is a huge system, and my vision of this is it continues on, for 50 or 100 years. I mean, we're here after the guys started this 140 years ago, and we have 120 people working here this morning.
Yeah. And
This
just
is
like
generational.
That's sustainability.
yes, and they're high-paying jobs,
Safe. Remember the safety. Look at the safety team. You went through the safety briefing.
Yeah.
You look at the team of geos. And this isn't just old guys.
No.
You got females, males, young, older, learning, working together,
College
using
educated,
technology.
not college educated.
This operation, I don't know if you know this, it's probably the youngest metallurgists of any project, and they're full of piss and vinegar. I love to see that because they're bringing new ideas, new technology.
So in a world right now is a little pessimistic.
Oh yeah.
This is optimism. The theme of this Rich Dad show, there's a gold mine right under your feet. Just open your eyes and look for it.
Well, Robert, there's one over your head right now as well.
Yeah, and I'm part share owner of it.
That's
But
right.
the point is the word share is we shared it with the world this morning.
Correct.
All over the world, people started buying these shares for their pensions, for their retirement, for whatever they want, for security, for extra income. And it also is going to, the more shares come in, more jobs we provide, and for 100 more years. That's capitalism. That is free market capitalism. That's not that wimpy victim, Marxist, rich capitalists are bastard stuff, which makes me sick.
Look,
Maybe for just a point for your watchers, the company's name is Osisko Development Corporation. It's ODV on the NYSE, and Robert Kiyosaki joined us to ring the bell on the NYSE for the first day of trading on the NYSE this morning, and we're looking forward to the evolution of this story as we continue on with the exploration development. And I think there's many good things to come from the mining industry and from this project in particular.
So again, we're going to provide great jobs, and this is free market capitalism. Congratulations, taking a 140-year-old mine, looking at all the old records, digitizing. Show that gun again. And what does that gun do?
This is what I call a real automatic.
what
you do is you can basically shoot the rock,
and
then it tells you what. So generally, this is probably the only well, maybe there's 3 mines, one in Japan and one in Africa, Witwatersrand, where you can shoot, and it'll give you the gold in percentage terms. It'll tell you the copper in percentage, silver, lead, zinc. It'll give you every, this didn't exist 40 years ago or, 60 years ago when the guys missed it by 8 feet.
Yeah, the old miners they missed it by 8 feet. All of this.
And they were good miners here too. This was a premium mining camp with a great bunch of historic miners. That some of the best miners in the world came from this area.
And so, how much is the existing 140-year infrastructure worth to you guys?
Over $500 million.
Yeah. So those 140 years ago, those guys kept improving this place.
Well, every step you take is about $15,000 to build the tunnel.
Yeah, this is a new tunnel here. To go a foot is $15,000.
That's $5,000 for a foot, but a step of, let's say, 3 feet, you're looking at about $20,000.
Yeah.
Every step.
So one more time, an average gold mine, how many ounces per ton is considered good?
Okay, so the average gold mine in the world would be about 1/30th. Average underground would be about 1/10 of an ounce.
Yeah, okay, 1/30th. I'm not a math guy.
Yeah, so it goes in grams.
Right.
So the average gold mine in the world is about 1.5 grams per ton, which is about 1/30th of an ounce. This is multi-ounce. That's 100 ounces. We have a section, you took the photo, 8 feet, over 700 feet, and it's 100 ounces. That's 1,000 times higher grade than the average operating mine.
And it's been here for 140 years.
It's been here for millions of years, but
Yeah,
they just,
I know.
Be clear, those are our high-grade zones within the mine, and we're looking for a mine that's going to be averaging somewhere between 1 and 2 ounces per ton in the high-grade zones, and then we don't know in the rest of it because there's mineralization outside of this that we haven't bothered to document yet. We're just focused on this new 700 feet of opening here. It's a brand new discovery, and the geologists and the engineers are still working it out, but it's been pretty spectacular discovery for a guy that's been in the business for 42 years.
Wow. So I thank you, gentlemen. You're fantastic free market capitalists. You discovered the richest gold mine in the world in America, because I've been one of those guys in those higher risk countries, risking my life looking at gold. And there's a lot of dangerous countries out there. But I congratulate you. Once again, the theme of this Rich Dad show is a gold mine right under your feet. Just start looking for it. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
So thank you all for listening. This is, again, Robert Kiyosaki, 625 feet. This is the deepest podcast, as far as we know, in the history of the world. We're in Utah. This morning we're in New York City, ringing the bell on the New York Stock Exchange. And this is July 8th, 2022. A great day for free market capitalism. Thank you for listening to the Rich Dad Show.